Hey there everybody, welcome to my video of the tournament semifinals against Swag again, the previous Legend Guild. And this one, my guild finished the season in third. We got SSA in the semifinals, and as you can see, they beat us pretty handily. I personally had a pretty good one though, so let's get into the attacks that I did. First 7 attacks I did at work. But first, you'll see this beautiful golden battlefield that they have as the previous Legend Guild. Going straight into a Hurtayat defense because I had to move runes to my Shina because I wanted her on a Violent Bruiser set for this. And I wanted to get this attack in before they actually could attack my Shina because my Shina was on our backline 2 tower at the time. But basically, same as you guys have seen me do before, I think this offense is pretty reliable against the Hurtayat defense that we're up against. We're just going to go right through that Hurtayat with our twins. We have our Fran as a target for the Hurtayat and also an attack buff for our twins. You can see that he never got a full 5 stacks, so he wasn't able to strip us. He wasn't able to get an additional turn, and we ended up just going through him. This Martina is on a tanky build, and this Shina is on speed, crit damage, HP, a bruiser build. It's actually the rune set I have on my Aegir usually. Just because I wanted some damage, and I don't need them to be especially tanky for this particular offense. So this one goes really smoothly. And we're off to a pretty good start. Always feels nice to win the first one, or rather, it feels really bad if you happen to lose the first one. Up next, they're running MST in all the 4-star towers. I'm going in with my, most conservative team, and pay attention to the Trianas here. I mean, this Triana happens to take 4 turns right now, but it is critting my tank for almost 11,000 damage per crit. So we're taking over 30,000 damage from a Triana on turn 1 there. Make sure your tanks are tanky enough. This one, it's like, I think we're plus 1,300 defense or something, and it's still hitting that hard. It's a really, really big damage Triana. So this is a tanky twins build with a big crit damage Triana here. So we managed to live through the first round, but I mean, we did take a lot of damage on turn 1. So this is one where there's a bit of a time limit on us. We do go for the pushback on Triana there to save our Bella's life, at least another turn or 2. And we glanced 1 hit, but we actually got the push down, saved it. Hooray. Which, gives us another 1 or 2 rounds of life for our Bella, but now it is going to sadly pass away. I'm going to sleep the twin that has lower attack bar, mostly because we're killing the Shina, but also I've said before, if you're hard CCing a twin, I always go for the one with lower attack bar because that denies more attacks from the twins if they do happen to get attacks in. Here we end up getting his monster shortly after he gets one of ours, so not in a terrible situation. This Triana does a ton of damage though. I want to still focus on his Martina. I want to get his defense break off the field if I can. You are going to see me go for a 50-50 sleep on the Triana here because we didn't land it, we glanced there. The 50% of the time that we don't glance on that, putting that Triana to sleep for 2 turns is massive because the Triana is actually doing more damage to us than the Martina is. And then it's also, the healer cleanser, so if we can take the Triana out of the fight for 2 turns, that's a big deal. Which is, you see me try to freeze it there as well, but we glance again. There's a 15,400 damage crit on my Aegir from that Triana. I think my Aegir is plus 750 defense on his bruiser build. It's just a really, really hard-hitting Triana. And the third time we try to control this Triana, we do actually land it. We get the turn 2 sleep. You see how much we recover just during the 2 turns that Triana's asleep. We're back to full health on everything, and we managed to kill his Martina because he didn't have the heal and cleanse available. Now we just have to finish cleaning up his Triana here, which can take some time since we only have water monsters left, and we lost our defense break long ago. a kind of theme in this siege. Usually when I'm using these light tank offenses against these defenses, my light tank survives a lot of the time against other guilds. I think it is indicative of the rune quality that SSA does have that I lose my light tank in almost all of these attacks. I think you'll see it in a couple more later on. We do actually eventually kill him, so 2 wins for us. Up next, we have the other Twins team that they're running, and I like just a really thick Jolton to tank this. I mean, the Jolton's going to be the focus of his light monster and of his wind monster when I have 2 fire monsters with it. I like Raccoony against these teams a lot more than Harmonia, because when I bring Harmonias, a lot of the time on turn 1, the Clara will just stun my Harmonia, and they'll like kill something before I can ever heal it. I much prefer Raccoony. Here's a little bit iffy because he gets the defense break on my fire monster, and then both of his twins target it. But I'm pretty sure this Zenobia is really low damage, because I noticed earlier in the fight that it was not critting my Jolton at all. So I think that's a 0 crit rate Zenobia. It's just not built on damage. This is built to tank. And with this is a Violent Clara that he's running, so this is like a tank team that just wants to go for a longer fight rather than... Like, this can probably survive a Lucian if you tried to Lucian it. Which I don't usually try to Lucian the top 2 guilds, because I know that their stuff can be built very tanky. Up next, we have another MST. I end up hitting 4 of these in the video. Our second choice of light tank is going to be Shushu. Shushu has fine tank stats, but also Shushu has incredible healing. So right now you see Shushu heal himself for 34,000, which I think is like a 75% heal. I think it's the biggest heal in the game. Or certainly one of them. These twins, I think, were built with some amount of damage on them because my water twins got through them pretty quick. He does have, you know, all their Trianas are pretty big. I will say I made sure for these offenses, my water twins both have a high double roll of wind damage reduction on their artifacts. They have a 17% reduction and an 18% reduction artifact for wind, because I know that they have to tank a couple hits from these Trianas. They both have more than plus 10,000 health, and they both have, you know, some defense. I think one of them has like plus 500 and the other one has like plus 350, which is pretty low. I wish I could have more. But I think the wind damage reduction on your twins is important. Shushu's the tank that survives. Up next, we got Ryujin twins. We're bringing our next light tank, which is Escher. And I'll also add that all of these light tanks you're seeing are on the exact same set of runes. It's a Vio Nemesis set. It's just very tanky, and it's 100 resistance. The water twins are on the same runes as the previous water twins, and this siege is the first time that I also moved those artifacts over. So they're on the same wind damage reduction artifacts as well. As far as picking your light tanks to fight MST with, my favorites are always the ones that can heal. So the ones you've seen so far, Bella, Shushu, Escher. Those are my favorite ones. I like those more than stuff like Figaro or Shaman, just because I think the healing ends up being pretty good. Also, with Bella and Escher, you have a strip, which is helpful, especially on turn 1. If you're moving after their Triana that puts up immunity, you can strip them and then get a defense break off of your water twins, hopefully. Up next, another popular defense these days is the Tessarian Molly Savannah, or Tessarian Iris Savannah. And this one, we're just bringing our very, 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 very slow team. This is going to take a while. I hope you guys have a snack and a drink. Fortunately, it takes so long that you'll see what happens a bit later. So Malite is on 100 resist, plus 20,000 health, plus 2,000 defense. Just a very tanky set. He's on Destroy. My Kamoon is on Destroy. Kamoon and Raccoony are both built tanky. My Kamoon is over 90% resistance. My Raccoony is, I think, less resistance, but still pretty high. The main threat to us in this fight is if that Savannah defense breaks our Kamoon or Raccoony, and then that Tessarian tees off on it, gets a violent proc or two, and kills it. That's how we lose this. So we need to kill the Savannah as soon as possible, because every time it does that skill 3, if it doesn't glance on the fire monsters, there's a chance that it's going to defense break, and that could make things go wrong. I will say I noticed in this one that I think the speed tuning of my offense could be better. You can see that my Raccoony actually moves a little faster than my Kamoon, and in a couple places earlier on in the fight, that means that it heals the Malite to full health, and then the Kamoon doesn't put the shield on the Malite, which is a problem. We always want the shield going on Malite, so I think Kamoon moving before Raccoony is how you should run this, and don't make my mistake. When there's a shield up, I don't want to try to break that shield because it's huge. Instead, I'm going to hit the Molly. There's that scary defense break right there. So he does get that turn. He gets a violent proc as well. He misses a crit, which is helpful. I do have fire damage reduction on Kamoon, but that was the scary moment right there. We made it through. He got the defense break, and then he even got a violent proc on the Tessa, but he didn't get through our Kamoon. So now we've dismounted Savannah, we're feeling pretty safe. It's possible that he gets enough violent procs to kill us, but unlikely. We're going to switch it into fast forward mode now, and we're just going to target his Molly. I go for the Molly first because destroying the Molly's shield is based on her HP, so destroying her HP reduces the size of her shield that she puts up, and that's just going to make the fight go a lot faster. You could target either one, or switch back and forth, whatever you want to do. You're in full tank mode now. You've got your full stacks on your Malite, and it's just time to take down, just time to finish up the fight. And the in-game recording feature here actually is impatient and doesn't want to watch the whole fight. So in a moment here, it's going to say, okay, look, you won. You don't have to watch the rest. But in the actual fight that happened, even though the recording is incomplete, we do eventually destroy this Molly to the point where we're able to kill it. And then we just kill the... it's pretty obvious what happens from here. Kill the Molly first, then kill the Tessarian. We're tanky enough that we can do this all day. Another thing I forgot to talk about, at the very beginning of this, I actually opened by using skill 1 on my Malite, so there's the game giving up on it, but I kind of like stacking the Malite skill 1 defense increase at the beginning. Here is my worst offense of the day. This team that I'm using is definitely a risky team. This is not safe. I didn't really have any good counters, so I'm using this team. The idea is that immunity, very strong against what he has. We can put, fire and wind damage reduction on our stuff, and we're going to use Tessarian to hopefully clean up, get rid of this Savannah so that he doesn't really have a strip, because Molly's strip is super unreliable. Although Molly does just strip our immunity there. But if we can just get through the Savannah, which is built tanky, like the Tessarian and everything else, then we should be in a pretty good spot. If we can do it with our Lauren still alive, even better. Unfortunately, we don't get to do it with our Lauren still alive. We trade our Lauren for his Savannah, and that means that we lose a lot of our control. So this is a situation where he has more healing than us, but we have immunity and attack buff. And attack break, I guess, if we ever land one on a max resistance monster. But, because my friend doesn't have much accuracy, but my Tessarian has like 66%, I think. So in this one, it's kind of an issue of landing Oblivion on his Tessarian is fantastic, because then it doesn't have its damage reduction passive, and it doesn't have its additional damage against us. We almost get it there off a nice double violent proc, but not quite. The game goes on. A matter of us mega smashing him before we ourselves get mega smashed. And you just saw there, I just crit him for I think 13,000 on defense break with my Tessarian. which I think his Tessarian has some pretty heavy wind damage reduction artifacts, or fire damage reduction artifacts because of that. Because we hit his Molly way harder than that in a little bit here. But it is going to take a bit because the Molly is fast, it's max resistance, it's extremely tanky. So we're just kind of waiting for the right combination of events. You just saw it resist all of my attempts to defense break it. I put this one on fast forward again because I know how long it took me to do. We get a defense break, he gets a cleanse, and that just kind of goes on for a while. This is where I start wishing that I had my Tessarian on Destroy, like how they have theirs on Destroy. Because most of the Tessarians that SSA has on defense are on Destroy. I think because they want a chance against, like, if someone brings, say, a Bulwark Amelia Skogul offense, they want a chance to destroy enough of that Skogul's HP to actually beat that offense, which is usually a offense that's impossible to lose with. And then also, like, they know people are going to bring those Malite teams like I brought, and killing a Malite is a very difficult thing to do, but if you can, because you're going to need to get violent procs to kill that Malite at some point, but if you can destroy half of its HP, then you maybe need one fewer violent proc to actually get that kill. So I think it makes a lot of sense that they have them on Destroy. I wish I had some really good, efficient Destroy runes for mine, because I think that I would probably copy that. There's a good hit, 20,000 damage. There's a violent proc, another 20,000 damage, and we finally get out of this fight against Silent, who is very, very strong member of SSA. Did fantastic in the finals as well. That guy seems OP. That's it for the attacks that I did while I was at work. I did my last 3 attacks on my stream, so let's go over to that footage. Now, let's see. So if we want to do something like this, can. I think this stuff might be tanky enough. Yeah, so let's just go in with this. Do we want Tetra? I could do Talc instead. But my Talc wouldn't have to be runed because I don't have runes for him right now. Alright, let's try this. This will be our 4th Martina Shina Triana for today. Do we want to give them immunity? They just stunned. I guess we'll just give ourselves immunity. We'll get the big heal here. We won't worry too much about the opponent stealing our stuff. And which one do we go for first? I'm gonna go for the one that's gonna defense break everything, I guess. Well, they targeted the shield. That's unfortunate. He's stunned. Resistance. I actually have high accuracy on my tractor. That's sad. Let's hit tractor, please. Give him attack bar. Martina first because she gets stronger. That's not a bad point. Yeah, I like your thinking. I'll change to Martina. See if we can tell who's squishier. Typically, so far today, the ones I've been fighting are mostly really tanky twins with, I think the fire one might be squishier. Really tanky twins with really high damage Trianas. Although this Triana's not actually doing that much damage. Gonna undestroy in this defense. It's not a bad idea because people are using this offense now, right? Okay, please stop. I'm gonna die. We can shield here because Martina's stunned, so the shield is actually relevant. Relax. We'll just tell them to relax after every violent proc, as if they're not like taking 100 turns and it's totally expected that they would get some violent procs. It is weird that I haven't stunned at all with my tractor. Like I said, my tractor actually does have accuracy. I mean, I got one stun that I can remember. There's a stun. But he procced out of it. How's Tractor ruined? Tractor is your defense, crit damage, defense, with like, I don't know, 60 crit rate and pretty tanky. I can show Tractor after. Hey, we can put up immunity without it being bad for us now. Oh, my Tractor's Vampire Destroy, in case you were, wondering what sets were on it. Which would be a perfectly normal thing to wonder as part of the question, how's it ruined? Don't stun him, I just cleansed him. I feel like this Triana's low damage compared to the ones I fought earlier today, though. The ones I fought earlier were landing crits on my tanks for like 10,000 plus. One of them was hitting 11,000 on my tanks. Hello, D-Rover. You gonna steal this team if you're still alive when the fight's over? Good luck. We're gonna be here for a bit. I think one of my fights earlier today was so long that it wouldn't even finish the replay when because I was using the in-game replay recording thing so I can put everything on YouTube later. But the fight was so long that like halfway through the fight, the replay just stopped and it was like, okay, you won the fight. Here's your victory screen. Am I on global? I am. I'm in the Exile Mercs guild. We've ended the season tied for 3rd, and we're currently fighting the Legend guild. As you can tell by the extremely shiny golden battlefield that we're on right now, that they have won the past 2 Legend tournaments. Hey, we won eventually. Dark damage reduction. I mean, everyone's going to be attacking this thing anyway, right? So who cares? So this is our tank. 2 healers. We have Ciara bombs. I think this offense works really well against like everything. So let's try it here. I think he's going to cleanse that, so I don't want to bomb it right now. Unless I was going to detonate it, but I don't want to detonate it. I'll put up immunity here. See if we can avoid getting provoked. Alright. Bombs on this one, I think. Resisting my bombs. I get the 50-50 freeze? No. Uh-oh. Cleansed. Please freeze. Thank you. Gotta get those, if you have skill 1 accuracy artifacts, your Lucy is a great place to put those. Mr. Shizzy, how's it going, sir? Welcome to the stream. Shizzy's the guy who tells me which defenses I need to build. Let's just re-up on that sleep over there. Don't let him proc out of it. Okay, he got out of it. But I think we're doing okay. Thanks for the sub, Shizzy. I really appreciate that. Let's detonate that. You had 10 Lucias, you'd never lose a siege. What's stopping you? Making 9 more? I have 2, and I don't regret making the second one. Kaboom! I guess the wind tank's not a bad idea, because if I go the Sion route, the Cocky could just kill one of my fire monsters on turn 1 if he gets like 1 proc, because he does, 30,000 damage on every skill 1. Do a prediction? No, we're just going to go for it. Okay, let's try this. This is for the 10-0. Alright, we can't heal ourselves now because he's silenced. Uh-oh. Go for a stun first turn if we're going to outspeed him. No stun. Go ahead and boost our Cocky here and get the slow debuff on while he still has, low attack bars. If I can stop the Ciara from bombing us again, that would be super cool. And I think we just heal here. I just need more health to survive stuff. And just keep boosting you. I'll attack this. I mean, I have... Okay, that was bad. Like, I had both Despair as well as the Sleep that could have procced on that. So I feel like that's not a terrible chance of doing something good. The defense breaks, so there'll be reduced the Cocky damage there. All right, goodbye fire tank. You did your job. Or wind tank. Okay, violent proc there could have killed us. Sleep or stun. Alright, we get the despair stun. We don't need to boost here. We kill. Nice. Okay, we got an Iris left. Go ahead and get some Fire Guardian Angel action with a despair stun. Go for the sleep. Get our cool times down, you know? Stunning would be way better, because if I stun, she doesn't heal. Alright, got the stun. Go ahead and give the unnecessary boost for the victory lap. And hit him with a teddy bear. 10 wins in a row in the chat. Look at me go. 10 wins.